Welcome to Beyond the Script, where you find great movies and great conversation. Let's start the show now. The movie we're discussing today is The WIZ, with Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Nipsey Russell, and Ted Ross.
Thank you, and good luck.
The genius who created me only took care of my dashing good looks, my razor-sharp wit, and my irresistible attraction to the wrong women. What he forgot was a heart.
A lion without any courage. Oh!
Can you help us, sir?
What's in it for me?
We'd be very grateful.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
Here it is.
Come on and ease on down the road. Come on, ease on down the road. Don't you care?
Mama would be so proud going to see The WIZ.
LaRhonda Murray, Pastor Chocolate, is a proud mother of two amazing children, grandmother of two loving grandsons, the sole proprietor of a hair salon, Swing In, as well as professional life coach specializing in relationship resolution. We are so glad she's here today. All right, guys, we are here with Pastor Chocolate. I'm so excited about this, and we are talking about The WIZ. One of my favorite movies. If you ask me whatever song, I can sing every one. Wow. Word for word. So when she picked this movie, I was just completely excited. Yes. So the first thing I want to talk about, of course, is the beginning, because in the movie, which we don't really know because you're flabbergasted with the fact that this is Diana Ross and Michael Jackson.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it's so many big, you never really get into the point of the beginning.
You're right.
How she just didn't fit in.
Right. That's exactly it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was just very uncomfortable. It was a full family function, and she was very uncomfortable. She was trying to keep herself busy.
Yes.
So let's just jump right in. I'm going to throw it to you. How did you go beyond the script in The WIZ?
Okay, so the way I leaped into it, just like how you pointed out, the first thing that I noticed is her uncomfortableness within the family. Not necessarily having an interaction with them, but she was so busy. You could tell she helps. But to me, the first thing I picked up on, she helps to keep herself busy so that no one asks her maybe hard questions, or maybe that she doesn't have to communicate. That's the first thought I got. I was like, there's something to this.
Right.
Even though I watched it years ago and I was much younger, but for this, I watched it again and I grasped something totally different. So while she was in the kitchen, there was that one point where her and Auntie, is it Auntie M? Auntie M.
Yeah.
Auntie M was, having a discussion with her, and, she's a teacher. But she wanted her to soar higher. I guess she's grade school or something, but she wanted her to try to, I felt like it was to get her to be stimulated around more adult, to transition herself.
Yes.
And she has so much of a reservation, so that was something that made me say,
Right.
why is she comfortable being stuck?
Right. Wow.
And that's a powerful word, and maybe that's not what it was initially for, but as I've been transitioning in life, she's stuck. And stuck doesn't always mean something negative. Stuck could be she's comfortable.
Yeah,
and
comfort zone.
I was thinking to myself, okay, in my life or people that I engage with, you get so comfortable because you know your routine, you know what you're supposed to do. You can do it effortless. You can almost do it blind.
Right.
And so that's what was one thing that stood out. And so as Auntie M was talking to her, and I could see she became more introverted. Right. She kind of digressed. And even though it's a whole family there, and and then when she went to the kitchen and she said that one thing, I don't even know what they're talking about.
Right.
Even if she didn't say like that, but that's what she was saying.
Exactly.
Like, I'm clueless.
And
to what
and when she starts
about.
to sing, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, everybody's talking about this love and connection. What do they mean?
Exactly.
What do you mean by that? And
Exactly.
yeah, that's so
Exactly.
true.
So that stood out to me.
And it also, that I didn't notice too, that she did kind of revert with the that was considered, that wouldn't be considered a hard question, but it was a hard
For her,
question
it
for
really
her.
was.
Like, why don't
Yeah.
you try to go up for high school?
And
You
and
know,
her mannerism
yeah,
made me think like she was feeling like Auntie M was picking at her.
right.
Even
As
though
opposed
she
to,
didn't say a lot. But then
Yeah.
you have to learn people's body chemistry and their energy, and that's why I chose the word to say she became introverted, and she just wanted to be left alone. Without
Right.
even saying it, she was never disrespectful, but you could just see it in everything about her.
Right.
Like, leave me alone. I'm comfortable.
I'm comfortable.
But the clicker of it is, and as we go through the story, I'll show why that was so profound. So profound, because her thing that she loved, as from what we could see as we start, is her dog Toto.
Right.
And it's almost like your dogs, your animals, your pets, they pick up your characteristics, right?
Right.
But I didn't see that with Toto.
Why?
And I said, here I go again. Remember the other movie I talked about? Never mind. Okay.
Right.
But the dog had no reservations.
Let's go. As soon as the door open.
That part. He was like, lady, I've been here with you. So I'm finna pick this day.
Okay. This
I'm
way.
not concerned about it's a tornado outside.
Nothing.
Give me the door.
And
I'm about to go.
I'm gone.
Now, why is that?
Right. And see, that makes it, girl, be on the script. Because she's like, I'm cool. I don't need to go
Exactly.
nowhere. But the one thing that you truly love, since you ain't listening to Aunt Am,
So
the
I'm
one
finna
thing
show
you truly love finna show you.
We finna go outside.
We about to go outside.
and we
You
finna
love
cross
me,
the
you gonna
street.
come get me.
We gonna cross a few streets.
Right.
You might not
We
want
about to
but
go
you love me
into
so
the
much.
mist. Yes.
I'm the thing that's sent
Yes.
to make you go further.
To push you.
But she wasn't ready, and Toto probably really wasn't either.
Right.
Toto had guts and courage. 'Cause
That's-
even as you
yes.
get further, Toto was like, I'm not waiting on you.
Never.
Toto found that wrong before everybody else did. Toto was like, huh? The wind said, okay.
I
he
think we
was
should
going.
go this way. Right.
You know, and so even with her being so, but she was determined.
True.
She was holding on to Toto, like her life depended on it.
Right.
And that was so, that was a trigger for me too. I'm like, when she loves, she does love hard. Now let's go back to the house and the family where they're having a discussion, and she said, I don't even know anything about that. But you do.
But you do.
It's what you choose to decide you want to love.
Wow.
She had that epiphany with Toto that she wasn't even connected to the family with the new baby and all that, and the family going around. She went to her designated place. Toto pushed her, gave her the initiative, and then she went out.
And she realized that my family is here. That's the
Right.
same love that they're talking about.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. So now let's move on.
Yes.
She's in this mystical world. What happened? I don't know how this happened, but she's here.
Yes.
Now, all I could see is fear.
Most definitely.
Now, for me, I lived half my life in fear.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I
Wow.
resonate with what's going on. I'm just scared. Where am I at? Why am I not at home?
Right.
But who did it? Why?
Yes.
You know, all I could see was just fear.
Absolutely.
However, once you're in fear and there's nowhere else to go, you have to get up and you have to do what you have to do.
That's right.
I
It's
gotta
either
meet
fear or
people.
flight.
Right. I gotta meet people. I gotta figure out. I gotta, ask questions. I have to get out there
Absolutely.
and figure out how I'm gonna get home.
And she couldn't just stay stuck there.
And you can't. You can't just sit there because
No.
every place had its
No.
own little trap that was, designated to keep her stuck. The one place that she didn't want to go.
But
Yeah.
you know what else I picked up on that? The very first place that she landed, soon as she landed, the people that look like did you ever notice that before when you watched it? That blew my mind. Maybe because I was so into, oh my gosh, she's so weird. This time when I watched it again and I saw the people coming out of the walls
Yeah.
and they were
The
thanking
graffiti.
her. The graffiti, and she's just looking like,
What'd I do?
right. Like, I just landed here. I don't even know where I'm at. And
Right.
they're praising her.
Right.
And she's still like, no.
Right.
Going back to that introvert, like, I'm somewhere different. And she's not really hearing what they're saying. They're praising her.
Praising.
Someone that thought she was
Thank
pretty
you.
much invisible at home.
nothing.
Couldn't connect and relate. God had her see that she had purpose.
Right.
Right then and there. She had purpose.
Right.
that she didn't even understand. And as they're coming to her, some of the fear starts to disappear because she's like, wait, let me start to listen to what they're saying.
Right.
And then they're praising her, and they want to celebrate her. Even though she's like, well, I still don't know what's happening.
Right.
I
Okay.
just, in the back of her mind, even before she even started saying I want to go home, she's just like, you know, she's thinking,
Right.
what's going on?
Right. Who
Who
are
are these
you?
people?
Right.
I want to go home.
Yeah.
So that was so profound to me because I was like, the first introduction, no, maybe second, because her first purpose was realizing that she did love. She loved Toto. And
Right.
she was willing to do anything to save him.
Mm-hmm.
Now she gets thrust into another scenario, and the people are willing to celebrate her. So you went from thinking you're invisible, you don't want to move forward, you're stuck, and the people that was literally stuck, which you don't tell us how long they were stuck there,
Right.
she had the power.
You had the power to release the stuck people.
That part.
Girl, if you don't go beyond the script. Okay, so, all right, so now you're right. She pretty much released these kids from bondage. Now that she's got them out,
Yes.
they're living their lives or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, so now she meets the first, I don't know what they call her. She was Glenda.
That
She
part.
meets Glenda.
Yes.
Okay, Glenda's kind of like her person that first propels her in the direction that she needs to
Yes.
go to ultimately to get home.
Yes.
So once beautiful music is going and the sound, and you gotta love Quincy Jones.
Yes.
Can I tell you, you gotta love Quincy Jones?
Yes.
Okay, so we get to now the first person that she meets with an intimate relationship. I notice. Now she ain't doing too good with intimate relationships
At all.
since the beginning.
We've already picked
so
that
the
up.
first intimate relationship is Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Okay, this song, I told myself I ain't gonna sing the
I-
song, but I
told
really
you-
wanted
told
to
you
sing the
if
song.
If you feel bad, you know.
But see, it's just like, I felt like there was a reason why that was the first person she met. The
Yes,
first
because
person she met.
Look at what he believed he thought he was lacking.
Like her.
Come on and tell my story then.
Right? And it's so
Yes.
funny. Like, you're this person over here that needed encouragement,
Exactly.
but her first reaction was to build him up.
Absolutely. But yet again, see, this is the part. The biggest thing that I picked up, and even let's talk about Miss Glenda. I saw her as a spiritual mother, because we all have
Right.
someone or mentor someone like that. So that was the first thing I thought with her. She saw this beautiful thing, and I said, that's how our Holy Spirit is. You know, somebody makes an impartation. You might not know that that's what it is.
Right.
But someone is fixing to tell you. They just keep telling you you're going to be okay. So now she meets Michael Jackson. Well, the Scarecrow. I'm sorry.
Scarecrow,
The
sorry.
Scarecrow. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
We're talking about the Wiz. He's the Scarecrow.
Watch the
He's
movie.
the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow that doesn't have a brain, so he thinks.
Right.
But the very first thing that he says to her, he was so intellectually sound. I was like,
Right.
how if you don't have a brain?
Wait, how
are
would you
put
know
these
that?
words together?
Right.
And then you're taking, and he was like, oh, you don't believe me? Look. And he opens up his head, and the little paper comes out, and then he's reading these things, and he was like, today, da, 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 and she's still just looking at it, and I'm like, God,
Right.
he has a brain.
Right.
Maybe not the way he can't see it, but immediately I grasped, I said, God gives everyone a gift.
Right.
He gives everyone a special piece of him because he is of love, and he gives everyone something. So while he has been told or made to feel, because I don't know if
Right.
the crows was the one that were picking at his head and made him think they removed
Right,
something.
right.
So you have to be careful about what you let people say to you in your going through. Because we are so easy, and we become septic to negative energy, and then we feel like we're supposed to carry that. He was able to use verbiage that doesn't equate to someone that doesn't have a brain.
Right. Exactly.
He was so intellectually sound. That's the part that got me the most. I'm like, is he not hearing himself?
Right. Can you not hear yourself?
And
Yeah.
he's not hearing himself because he's so consumed with what others have told him
Yes.
about his. That's what we have to be
Yes.
conscious of. What are we allowing people to deposit into us, and then we carry it? The man was intellectually sound. He's hanging up there. You know
Right.
what it made me think about? I think Bishop a long time ago made a story about when it was something he made in relationship to elephants being chained to a stake. And they get so consumed to that. Now remember, he's hanging on this pole. He wasn't chained. He was just up there.
Just hanging.
Arms, legs,
Right.
You know, he's just up there. But it made me think about the time when Bishop was speaking about that the elephants did not realize that the stake had been taken out.
Lord have
And
mercy.
that they would have been free to move at
Move
any
and
time.
roam.
So why, when she said, shoot, she scared them all out. Again, the same person that was introvert,
Yeah.
that didn't think that she had
Right.
value of substance, she was able to chase off the scarecrows.
Right.
I mean, the crows.
Yeah.
So that she could assist the scarecrow. And yeah, he may have been hanging up there for a while, but he had legs and he had arms. So
Yes.
he was hanging up there. So what?
Right.
He became lethargic. He couldn't get
Right.
it together. And she took him down alone. No assistant, no
Nothing.
man, no nothing.
By herself.
She got him down, and you know, I don't know if he said, "Oh, it's gonna be a little jiggly,"
Right.
or whatever. And then
Yeah.
he got it together because he started believing in himself. Now, what initiated him to believe that he could do something?
Exactly.
Came from her.
From her, the person that didn't have it. And it's so, you got to remember too, the song itself.
Absolutely.
The song itself is talking about you can't win. You can't break even. Like, how negative you have to be. Like, there's no point.
So think
You
about
can't
it. If someone
win.
is chanting that to you
You're
every
never
day,
every single
every
day.
and no
Don't
other
try
positive
it.
influence,
Yeah,
you're
don't-
going to receive
yeah,
that.
don't
That's
try
what you're
it.
going to think
Don't
about
think
yourself.
How's me, fellas? Like old garbage guts here, done forgot the crow commandments again.
Fellas, I did not forget the crow commandments, please.
Run 'em by me.
Thou shalt honor all crows.
Right on.
Proceed.
Thou shalt stop reading all bits of paper and literature.
Trash, terrarium. And the most important one.
Thou shalt never get down off of this here pole.
You got it, Clyde.
And the moment somebody came up, I mean, the moment they came up and said,
Someone knew.
To pretty much scatter the negative thoughts, you were able to get up,
And they
stand
never came
up,
back. It wasn't like they went
right,
like,
and
okay, you
came
know how
back.
the enemy wants to come, steal, kill, devour your spirit. No, she said, and they got the ham and cheese up out of there.
Right.
They got up, didn't
Didn't come back.
So
Yeah.
and that was big for her. But as the story is going along, she's not even aware of what she did. So that's
Yeah.
another connection.
That's
that
another
we'll tie
connection.
back to. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So
Yes.
now we're moving on, and they're, you know, from the Glenda, she knows that she has to find the Yellow Brick
Yes.
Road, and she finds between her and, like you said, Toto got there first. Nobody noticed. Toto's running.
Toto
He
had
got
his
there
own
first.
GPS.
Right.
Yes.
And they find the Yellow Brick Road, and they're off on this journey of life. And once, I feel like each relationship, although was different,
Yes.
she seemed to be the
connection,
strength.
the strength of it.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you little miss that couldn't even sit at the table with her
So
family.
that's why when I was watching, I kept having those aha moments. I kept saying like, she don't even know, God.
She doesn't realize.
Like I'm watching it, but I'm talking at it because now I'm having this revelation because it's almost like I'm willing her to see her value and her purpose.
Right.
But she's
Right.
just moving along.
She's moving along,
All she knows
walking
is-
around with anointing, a
Yes.
full-on anointing to
Yes.
bring people out of bondage, and she
That
does
part.
not realize it.
At all.
Crazy, right?
Using a gift that she didn't know.
She didn't even know she had. She can't even use it on herself because she doesn't know she has
But
it.
it's just like how when we hear that you could be somewhere and people gravitate to you. A lot of people have leadership in them, but because they don't have a title,
Right, right.
they don't want to move in that spirit because they don't know. And then they sit back and they be like, well, I should have. But people still keep coming to them. And so that's her experience.
Right, right, right.
She's only supposed to be trying to get to the Yellow Brick Road. It never said she was going to meet the scarecrow. It
Right.
never said she was going to run into these crows. All she's trying to do is get home. By any means necessary,
Right.
as we now see.
Right.
Because it's by any means necessary because she
Right.
didn't chase off the crows.
Right, right, right.
She got Scarecrow to understand that he can come down
Right.
from that where someone has placed him.
Right, right, right.
And now they're moving on together. And then he has the epiphany when she shares with him, I got to go see the wizard. Then he's like, can I go?
Right.
Is this something he has for me? And it's just like you never know what God has for you till you're put into a situation to really see how much the right hand of him will reach down and pull you up out of a situation.
Wow.
The only thing he wanted to do was just be left alone and hang up there.
Right.
Now that she says, I have an assignment, I have a purpose, he realizes he has a purpose too.
Wow.
I'm going to go with you.
Girl, beyond the script. Okay, so we're moving on. So now she's, just like she met the Scarecrow, she meets the Tin Man and then the Lion, and each relationship is caring of his own, but she still stands as the anointed one to bring them out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like the Tin Man in itself, of course the Scarecrow is there with all his brains and ideas.
Yes.
And he swear he ain't got no brain. But from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship, we still know that she's still standing as an encourager.
Absolutely.
Come on, let's do this. Come on, let's do this. We could do this together. You know what I'm saying? And this is all her grandmother was trying to tell her. I mean, her auntie. Was trying to tell her in the beginning. So
always empowering her.
right. But as a group, now we're coming into a different space, because now we're a group. We're trying to still get to our destination, and we're having challenges. Where
That's in life.
That's in life.
So if you give up every time something, you know, my grandmother used to say all the time, God does his best work in the dark.
Wow.
He does his best work in the dark. And so for her, that was a dark place and a dark space. But yet she got other people to be in alignment and run with her vision.
Wow.
But it was their vision too, because each one of them wanted something. The Tin Man, what did he want? He wanted a heart. And the lion, he wanted courage. But if you really take the movie place by place, each one of them had what they were seeking already. But yet again, even like with the Tin Man, because of whatever little isms he used to do, he felt like all he was supposed to do was just let the big lady sit on him. He deserved that. He deserved it. Okay? The lion, he wanted to cower and hide because he felt like he wasn't strong enough to live
If I'm not that, then I can't be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even when it got to the point where they were being chased and he was like, ooh, and he heard himself like, oh, okay, wait. He didn't roar like the lions normally do, but he had enough in him that when he made that one noise and he saw them flee, you could start to see the transformation then. So then he was like, come this way. You know, now he's taking lead. Because if you look at it, everyone had a very important part that they played in their vision of what they thought they needed to go get from the wizard, and they're still following behind Dorothy, but each one took lead at different times. You get what I'm saying? And so that was what was so profound for me, because your gift is already in you. All you have to do is pull out what is already deposited in you. Reach down and pull out what he's already given to you.
Whew. Okay, traveling through. All right, so now they've made it to Emerald City. They're trying to do what they got to do to get to this wizard as they think. Girl, what happens? Let's go beyond the script. Let's go beyond the script. What happens when you get to the goal and everything you thought it was, it is not?
It's not.
What happens?
So listen, but then it goes again with someone else putting labels on you that you don't own. Because even though she was, okay, wait, before we get to that part. So when she accidentally kills the first witch, the wicked witch of the, which one she was, the East. The wicked witch of the East. She didn't do that with intention. It happened. So then it made her become a target. And someone decided to put on her. Now, if this lady, if she was known as the wicked witch of the East, then that means she had an expectation
she was well
that
known.
Something was going to happen because she was the wicked witch of the East. Now, little Dorothy just comes in and ascends on her, and the lady, and I want you to catch this part. It was the feet. You just saw her feet. Her feet. And she's deceased. But the whole thing is, when we get further along, everybody wanted what Dorothy had on her feet. What I grasp in that is that when God has ordained you and called you to a purpose, he's already paved the way. All you have to do is be in alignment and go. Every place that her feet led her was blessed. The feet. The feet.
Wow.
The feet. She killed her on accident. Then we move forward and she gets to the next place after she gets to Emerald City, and the people were just happy, just frolicking and just happy, and you know, and she's in awe of it, and she's looking around like, don't understand.
I don't get it.
Like, what's going on? But then
That's her feet.
here comes the other sister, the wicked witch of the she must be
of the
west. Okay.
Yes. Don't bring me no bad news.
Don't bring me no bad news. Evil, wicked, nasty disposition. She's one person controlling a whole room of people that are working. I don't want to use that word. I'm gonna have to say it though. They working like slaves. We don't like that word, but that's what they're doing. They're working like slaves, and she had that much power.
Right.
That she had. It was just rows of them, like
People
and
just
they're
working.
just working,
Not chained, just working.
And then she got the nerve to come up off of her, and you know the throne was a toilet.
A toilet.
That means she was full of dung.
Right.
Can't say the word. Can't say the word I want to say. Oh, Jesus. She was full of dung. Sitting on her throne. Her
Full of mess.
You know, because when you get to look at stuff, I start looking at it. I'm like, shit, man, that's a toilet.
Right.
She's sitting on the toilet.
She's sitting on the toilet.
Okay, so she moves forward and she's forbidden and she's singing this song and you know they have this fear of her.
Right.
But her focus is Dorothy.
Right.
Now we never saw how she knew Dorothy was who she was.
Right.
But somehow she knew
The word
Dorothy
is out,
was
yeah.
her fixation. Just like Dorothy's fixation was I need to go home. So when she tells them, bring her to me.
Right.
They get her there, and what does she say? Give me them shoes.
Right.
But remember, she was told way in the
do that.
beginning, don't ever take the shoes off.
Right.
So the shoes have power, right?
The
That's what
shoes
we're going to
have
be
power.
made to believe. The shoes
Have
is what holds the power. That's
Right.
real key to when we get down to the other part.
Right.
The shoes have the power. This wicked witch wants the shoes, and she's screaming, "You killed my sister!"
Right. It you know what was really funny to me too, when she's standing in front of her and her friends are all tied up, she's trying to do her best to get these shoes.
Right?
Nervously, she said, you know, I can't give them to you now, but I'll send them to you.
I'm gonna send right. She like, no. And then she said, you know, then she gets all with her smile ugly like, and she's like, okay. She's like, okay. And then which one was it? Was it the Tin Man that gave her the look like, hey,
No, girl, it's the scarecrow who ain't got no brain.
The scarecrow. Okay, I knew it was one of them. And so she go, oh, okay.
Okay, right. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Like, wait, I gotta get my
Cause she
posture
know
right.
I can't
gotta
take them
sit up.
off.
Right.
Right.
Okay, wait, okay. Fidgeting, stalling. You know what I'm saying? God was like, don't you do it? And, you know, but that's how it is. And he wants to kill, steal, and destroy. Who you gonna listen? Whose voice will you recognize? Whose voice will you follow?
recognize?
So she
Yep.
climbed up there like, right then and there, I knew it was gonna be good. Why you got one leg up on 10? You stand up to take the shoe off. Just fling the shoe off. I don't even want the lady to come touch me. Don't help me take the shoe off. Don't touch me. Okay, because you sitting on the pile of, don't touch me. I'm gonna get the shoes off.
I'm gonna get the shoes off.
And
Yeah.
then she stands up and she looks. And I said,
hit
God,
the
always
fire.
got a ram in the bush.
Yeah.
Always got a ram in the bush. She reached up there and let go, nah!
Right,
And
and
that's
sure
my favorite
enough.
part. That's my favorite part.
Right.
But then, even notice that when she starts to disintegrate and lose her power, her feet is the last thing to go down in the toilet. But well, in her crown. It's a toilet, y'all. It's a toilet. Don't call it stud. It's a toilet. So she disappears and she goes into that. And immediately, the same people that was under the trance of the wicked start to shed them layers off. This is what I'm talking about. You've got to be careful about who you are connected to. Because people will have you stuck and thinking so much of yourself that
Right.
Like-
You're in full on, they were in full on bondage, covered in a layer of disgust because they looked disfigured.
Yes.
So, the shedding of the okay. So you just said that it's crazy how you got to be careful who you connected
Right.
to because they can
Right.
keep you in bondage, right?
Right.
Okay. So the moment that she goes down
Mm-hmm.
and the shedding of this ugly, it's like disfigured look of the faces and completely disfigured.
Absolutely.
And then once they come out, they're so beautiful.
So can you imagine that? If you look
Shiny.
at that, let's say if that was like stress. People that stress over the smallest of things, you start to transform. But when someone else is putting those inflictions on you and you start carrying that.
Right.
So whatever you start to carry, you start to look like it.
And it starts
and
to
the
disfigure
minute
you.
that they had a glimpse of freedom, hope, or peace or whatever,
Right.
all of that ugliness just started to just
Right.
fall off.
Can't you feel
And they were
a
beautiful. And the
brand
song.
new day?
And they was dancing and partying and it was all about
Jamming.
them. It was like it was all about them. Like,
Brand
hey.
new day.
Because if you really looked at it when they was working, they looked like they were old and feeble. I wasn't expecting them to be in that ambiance of beauty.
Yes.
So young and full of life.
Right.
And then yet again, they're thinking her again. The same person that initially, when she was at home with Auntie M, was an introvert, didn't want to. Look, I'm comfortable where I'm at. I don't need all of that.
Yeah.
You know, if y'all want me to move and whatever, you know, this is where my head is saying like, look, y'all want me to move, I ain't ready for that. But look, if I got to, I will.
I will.
But
Right.
it was just the fact that she had so much power without even realizing how powerful she was.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. And so
Yes.
now we go through all of that.
Yes.
I did everything. She literally did everything that she was told to get to a place where she's trying to get home. We at the end of the movie. You finally get to the place where you told me to do this. You told me to kill these people. I didn't mean to kill her, but I killed her, and I did what I was supposed to do. And I'm
freed some
here.
people that
I
didn't even
freed
know
some
was
people.
Part of my assignment.
Right. I need my Uber. It's time for me to go
Yeah.
home, girl.
That part.
It's time. You said this is if I did this, that I would be here, and you get there, and the
then-
person that told you all that stuff
Excuse me. Yeah.
was
yeah.
lying. Then what do?
First of all, this is what made me laugh. When she first was introduced to him, this big old
Right.
head just with all this power
Talking.
and
Right.
authority. And you go in the back door.
Right.
That's why sometimes you
Right.
gotta check people's
You
traps.
got to check the traps.
What you showing me
It's
might not be
the
who you
real.
are.
Right.
So I'm gonna come on in the back door. I'm gonna look at you through your back door.
Right.
Get through the back door and they're like, huh, wait
What
a
is
minute
this?
now. What?
What is
But
this?
that don't stop them because she is on an assignment. Look, I done did all of my tasks.
Yes. I'm
Give me
going
what
home.
you told me I needed to do. Get in there. What the ham and cheese? The head is half open on the floor. He in the bed, curled up in the fetal position.
Scared.
Sleep.
Scared.
Was he sucking his thumb? Well, that's irrelevant. Anyway.
Right.
So pull the blanket, pull the blanket back, and the wizard.
Is a
is
scary little man.
That's a good word, because I had something else at the tip of my tongue. Scary little man who was a castaway.
Right.
And see, that's the thing that I said was so much of a comparison. We got so caught up with him being a fraud, but when you really looked at him to the core, he was just like her.
Just like her.
He had to put on a facade so that he thought that he could be at peace. But when we got down to the real meat and the potatoes of it,
Right.
he was a fraud.
He was
But
a
he was
fraud.
afraid. He didn't mean to be a fraud. He was afraid to even go back because he was thinking they was going to look at him as a failure. So he created this power.
Right.
A power. A person, but had no power.
We had no power.
He created this image that had everyone seeking him,
Right. Right.
and he had no power.
Right.
He had no power to where he started asking her, "Can you help me?" She's so in her feelings like, "Dude,
Right. Are you
do you know what I
serious?
just did? I done went
You
through a
went
tornado, I done
through-
landed somewhere, I done freed some people, then came out the wall, and the lady, then the other lady then came at me, and then these people that was green, they beautiful, and everybody cheering me on, and then I come over here to get what you told me you was gonna give me, and you can't give me what you told me I
Right.
was supposed
And
to come and get, and I done did all this for you. I got probable cause to be mad at you, bro. But then God say, hold on.
Hold on.
He deserves compassion and
He
empathy
still
too.
deserves compassion.
She's like, man.
Right. But she still gave it to him.
She gave it to him. And he was so humble.
Right.
Do you think
Super
you can
humble.
help me?
Super
Can
humble.
you help me?
Right.
I need help. I need to be saved. And then she speaks life to him too.
Right.
I can't exactly remember what
After
she said, but
all-
she spoke
yes.
life to him too.
Right.
And then he, reared his back. He got, situated.
Right.
And then now she's at that threshing floor. She's like, let me fix my focus. Yeah, I'm mad at you,
Right.
but I still have an objective. I have an
Right.
assignment, even one that I didn't ask for.
Right.
Because she had to.
Okay.
Because think about if she didn't and if she stayed stuck, then she wouldn't have been able to move forward to go do what she needed to do.
Right.
Which was to get to the point where I got to get back to my spirit. Well, I called her spiritual mother in the movie.
Right. Right.
And then here was the epiphany. Let's replay everything that you just went through. Let's just show. And then she was like, so I can go home now? And she was like, baby, you could have been with
You
home.
could have been.
Wait, what?
What you mean? Why'd I go through all this then?
Wait, hold on. There's a flag on the play.
Right.
Roll that tape back. Ma'am, you said I could have went home?
I could have went.
I'm not understanding you. But see,
Right.
God will say, see, this is why I be telling people now, when you pray, be very, very detailed.
Okay.
Because when we pray, God bends down to listen to us. So
Right.
if you just give him
Right.
a generic
Right.
prayer, then he gonna give that to you.
Right.
Did she ask for that test?
Right.
She just assumed she had to go through that because someone else told her that's what she had to do. But did God
Exactly.
tell her in order for you to get back home, you had to go through all of that?
Right.
He didn't stop her, he did not, but he covered her. He saw her through everything. And then she gets to this epiphany where the shoes don't have no power.
Right. You know how hard I don't
They told me not to take these shoes off.
Right.
She said, girl, just click your heels 3 times and think of home.
Right.
Was the home
Part-
access part of the click, or just because I just need to say I want to go home? See, that's the part of the movie I want to understand. Like,
Right.
was the power in
But-
the click?
And you know what I thought too is if we notice that each time she got connected to something, she got a little bit more power.
Exactly.
And each time she got a little bit more confidence. And then by the end,
Come on.
I looked back and I said, okay, there was absolutely nothing in any of these experiences or anything that she didn't have sitting at home with the family.
Exactly.
But she got what she needed to get the confidence that she needed.
Because guess what?
To say, I want to be
God
home.
had to take her out of her comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because he's going to always go before you.
Right.
He's going to make every crooked place straight. But she was convinced, and that she was convinced, once again, let someone deposit something in her that she did not need to carry.
Yeah.
I don't have to carry what people say.
Right.
I just have to be obedient. I have to make sure I am spiritually inclined. But at that point, all of her spiritual, because her assignment shifted. Now she had to make an impartation to the scarecrow. She had to make an impartation to the Tin Man. She had to
Right.
make an impartation to the lion. Then she had to even make an impartation to the wizard, who was everybody wanted to meet the wizard.
Right.
And the crazy part about it is, why the people that was at Emerald City didn't find their way to go to the wizard?
Right.
Again, one
They just
person
believe
had that
in
much
something.
power. They believed what the wicked witch of the West said. She had them in bondage, and they free and willingly stayed there.
Right.
They had fear too.
Right.
But the minute that they saw one person cancel out her, oh,
Everybody was
it was a
everybody
happy
was
day.
freed.
Yes. And so now
Spirit of
she's-
Jezebel.
that part. So that's why you have to be careful. You have to be careful about these connections that you make. You have to be careful that when you have someone in alignment with you, are they really running with your vision? Are they there to see it? Are they there to be a part of it so that when
Right.
it does manifest, they be like, oh, I knew she was going to do it. Or is it somebody that's riding with you like, that ain't going to happen?
That's not gonna happen.
Because remember, out of her own mouth, she said, well, I guess I'm just going to be here.
Right. I'm just gonna be here. I guess you're stuck with me
I'm
now.
She
Right.
said, me and Toto off again. Toto, like I got an assignment. I'm gonna lead us to this. Everything
Right.
was different. It was like no matter what someone told her, she received it and she believed it. She was willing to sit there and just be a part of the Tin Men's world,
Right.
the Scarecrow's world, the Lion's world.
And what God is so funny that what we can learn, what God did is honestly put you in several different scenarios.
Yes.
in all of the scenarios, could nobody really help you but
At
you.
all. It was your faith.
It was your faith.
Because
it's what you believed in.
once she started believing, wait a minute, hold on, let me get back to what my focus is. I want to go home.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's when her faith kicked in. Okay, I have all these other nuances, but I'm still wanting to go home. That was faith. Faith kept pushing her through. She had some little bumps in the road, but nothing devoured her, nothing took hold of her. She made it. And when she got to her spiritual mother that just told her, baby, it was in you.
The whole time.
The best part was when she went to each and every last one of them before she left and broke it down and said, you have a brain. You are the most intelligent person I've ever seen.
Still anointed to encourage.
The Tin Man. I mean, it was just like when she had to tell the lion, you fought off this, that, and the other.
Right.
It was already in you. And that's what, to me, that was the beyond the script. Because God was saying, everything that you need, I've already empowered you.
Yeah.
You are an overcomer.
Yeah.
You are victorious.
Well,
You can do whatever you put your mind to. Yeah, she clicked her heels. But I said, I wanted to do a replay on it. Was the power in the click, or was it when they're saying, when I think of home, I just think of a place, I want to go home.
Yeah. And bam, she's at home.
And then she went home. Ain't God good?
Ain't that something? Ain't God good?
He knows the ending before the beginning.
Right. Girl. Okay, well, that is it in a nutshell. And normally I ask my guests if you have anything that you would want to say to our guest. Just go ahead, look in the camera.
The moral of the story is you always have to know what your purpose is. You have to keep your focus. There may be obstacles. The Word of God says you'll have trials and tribulations, but it also says the weapons are going to form against you, but they will not prosper.
Right.
So get out of your own way. If you know that you have a passion for something and you're determined, let nothing stop you or block you. That's what I would say.
Amen. Well, I thank you guys for being here today. I am excited. If you haven't seen The WIZ, something is wrong with you. No, I'm just kidding. Just joking. No, seriously, go watch The WIZ. It's an amazing movie.
Yes, it is.
And then watch this, because that was a really, really good breakdown.
Yes.
But thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time. Bye. And cut.